Smell is weirdly under-digitized. We have pixels for images, waveforms for sound, and coordinates for maps. But scent still lives in a world of words like floral, woody, or green. These descriptions are useful and charming, but they are a bit like trying to describe Wi-Fi using restaurant reviews. The company Patina is interesting because it is not just another perfume brand. Instead, it is trying to build the missing technical layer underneath fragrance itself. The goal is to understand scent through the biology of our olfactory receptors. So this story is not really about perfume. It is about whether one of our last analog senses is finally about to get a file format. The first reason Patina is worth watching is the size of this unsolved problem. Our sense of smell is not one neat sensor. It is more like a messy biological orchestra of hundreds of different receptors. Historically, the industry has translated that orchestra into simple adjectives. Those adjectives are helpful if you are selling a candle, but they become very limiting if you want to discover new molecules, replace rare natural materials, or design safer ingredients. Patina's idea is that fragrance needs to move from "this smells creamy and green" to "this activates a biological pattern we can model and compare." The core concept is simple. Before any market can become programmable, someone has to invent its basic unit of information. The company's origin story is built on a combination that seems odd at first, but is actually the whole point. One founder comes from the world of art and molecules. Sean Raspet has spent years treating scent not as a decoration, but as a genuine artistic medium. On the other side is Laura Sisson, whose expertise in machine learning keeps this from becoming just a beautifully perfumed art project. Her work focuses on predicting how combinations of aroma chemicals will smell, which is crucial because real fragrance is rarely a single molecule. And yes, they reportedly met at a scent art gallery. That detail is not just cute, it perfectly explains the company. Patina was born at the intersection of a lab, a gallery, and a software model. This brings us to Patina's core technical bet. Do not start with human adjectives, start with the receptors in the nose. The theory is that if a molecule fits a receptor in a certain way, it creates a pattern of activation. If that pattern maps to a perceived smell, then scent suddenly becomes something you can search, remix, and invent. This is why the analogy of an RGB of smell works so well. It does not mean we will be emailing perfumes to each other tomorrow. It means the industry could get a fundamental coordinate system for ingredients, moving discovery from guesswork to biology. Essentially, Patina is trying to make the nose legible to software. And if it works, the output is not just better descriptions. It is entirely new molecules, which can become incredibly valuable intellectual property. So what happens if scent actually becomes software? This is where the business gets spicy. The fragrance industry looks romantic, but it is a massive industrial market that touches everything from your deodorant and shampoo to your favorite beverage. The major players are powerful, with deep relationships, regulatory knowledge, and huge ingredient libraries. So Patina is not walking into an empty room, it is walking into a very established one. But that is also what makes the opportunity so interesting. If the company can discover safer, more sustainable, or more expressive molecules, it does not have to replace the whole industry. It can become a discovery layer that the industry needs, fears, or eventually tries to buy. This brings us to the core tension. The upside is huge, but the proof is brutal. A predicted molecule has to be synthesized, it has to be proven safe, and it has to smell good in a real product. Then, that product has to win over an industry that does not change easily. If you enjoy strange but serious business stories like this, like the video and subscribe to Business Undercurrent. The most fascinating markets are often hiding in places we forgot to measure.